Hi, everybody. Dan Illman and Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday, September the 18th. Race number 7 at Belmont Park. 7 furlongs, 2-year-old filly New York breds, stakes action. It's the Joseph A. Gimma Stakes. Before we meet the field, I want to remind everybody that a perfect complement to your DRF past performances is the Belmont Fall Meet Clocker reports put out by DRF's Clocker crew led by Mike Welsh. Add these Clocker reports to your Belmont handicapping. $12.95 for single cards. Save with the weekly subscription. Purchase now, drf.com/clocker. Now let's meet the 2-year-old fillies getting set to go in the Joseph A. Gimma. Fierce Lady, the 6. Time Limit, the 2. The 1-2 finishers in the Seeking the Ante Stakes. They meet 4 debut winners, trying winners, for the first time. And of course, you can access free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them and handicap along with us. I want to throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race, Mike, and I don't think this is etched in stone that the 6 Fierce Lady has to make the early lead, especially considering that she came from off the pace last time out in the Seeking the Ante. I expect her to be forward, but drawn outside of several other speeds. If someone else wants it, Javier will let them have it.
Yeah, he's got options, that's for sure. She is very fast, though. If they want the lead, they can have it.
We will begin with the number 1, Ilchester Cheetah. This was a debut winner at Laurel at a big price on a day where I thought Inside and Speed did well at Laurel. Ilchester Cheetah showed big early speed. She opened up a gigantic lead. Here comes Bernadette the Jet, an experienced horse that had already raced once on the turf, an American Pharaoh filly for Graham Motion, and the wire comes just in the nick of time for Ilchester Cheetah.
Yeah, she was getting a little tired here, but, she showed pretty good speed. I mean, it's not like she just broke like a rocket and got right to the front. She was hung up on the outside all the way up the backstretch before she finally pressed on to clear it around the turn. I thought that she ran pretty well. I respect this trainer a lot. I think he does a good job, but it feels like she's in a pretty tough spot here.
Seems like a tough spot, even though that last race was open maidens. Now going to have to deal with New York breds. Jeremiah O'Dwyer has done very good work with limited sample size over the past year on dirt. Last out maiden winners, 3 for 6, 50% winners, a $22 ROI. I believe at least one of these races was a stakes race. Fierce Lady and Time Limit come out of the Seeking the Ante Stakes. Now, Time Limit won her career debut very impressively at Belmont. She ran in the Stillwater and she just missed the break. Just draw a line through the Stillwater, pretend it never happened. The Seeking the Ante was next. She broke a lot better. She turns into the stretch with the lead. Here's Fierce Lady on the outside in the pink silks. They're going to throw it down the final 3/16 of a mile, and in my opinion, Fierce Lady was just better.
Yeah, I agree with that. And not just better, I think she was better by a lot, as a matter of fact. Not the Time Limit didn't run well in here, but she got basically loose on the lead here when Fierce Lady got bumped at the start and just wound up 3 wide off the pace the entire way. I don't know. I thought Fierce Lady sort of asserted her superiority in that spot. I won't be surprised if Time Limit gets right to the front here, runs a good race, but I prefer the other horse.
Now, the number 3, Thea's Theme, didn't exactly get a big fig for her debut at Saratoga, but I think she did some very good things. She won at the daunting debut distance of 6.5 furlongs. She had to go fast pretty much every step of the way, and the runner-up came back to win with a 70 buyer. Let's watch Thea's Theme's debut performance. We're going to see her right now on the outside, taking over the lead. She was pressing the pace throughout, and Thea's Theme is going to hold them off. Obviously, she has to improve from a buyer standpoint, but that win at 6.5 could be crucial. She only has to stretch out a half a furlong here.
Yeah, I also gave her extra credit for winning it at that distance. She's just going to have to run a lot better, though. When we picked up that replay, the horse that she was overtaking, who was on the lead, was like a 43-1 shot in there. So she really had a really good trip in that race, and then held off her uncoupled stablemate there, Critical Value, at the end. I thought she ran well, but it didn't make me want to bet her back in this spot.
Jeremiah Engelhardt had a very good meet with his 2-year-olds at Saratoga. Here's a formulator fact concerning Thea's Theme. Past 3 years, 2-year-old debut winners returning in their second start in a dirt sprint. 6 for 12, 9 of 12 on the board, a $5.85 return on investment. Here's the 4 Irish Dancing. Very impressive from a visual standpoint, very impressive from a speed figure standpoint, Mike. Taking over the lead, turning into the stretch, drawing off to win. win, 74 buyer, 98 time form U.S. raw speed rating, and is just powering away from this field late. A very nice debut.
Yeah, impressive debut, that's for sure. She crushed this field. She took a three-wide trip there, keeping up after what was a pretty good pace, too. And she just really finished it off with authority at the end, I thought. Really impressive, taking, I think, the next logical step.
Christophe Clement does very well placing these maiden winners, as we see from this formulator fact. Past 3 years, 2-year-olds on dirt. Last out maiden winners, 33% winners, 8 of 9 on the board, a $2.82 ROI. The 5 Naked Avenger was a debut winner for Tim Hills up at Saratoga, but I think she was a little bit lucky to win that race. We turn into the stretch, and Jewel of Arabia has completely blown the turn. And we're going to see Naked Avenger closest to the inside. She's kind of going to be lucky to win this race because Jewel of Arabia, the favorite at 3-5, ends up on the outer rail.
Yes, Jewel of Arabia, just for whatever reason, didn't handle the turn and then couldn't keep a straight course through the stretch. So Naked Avenger took advantage of that. She also took advantage of a really good trip, sitting in behind a contested pace all the way in there. On the other hand, she could get another trip like that in this race, and she's going to be a price, so I'm not going to knock this horse.
Fierce Lady, as we talked about, is probably the horse to beat. We showed the race with Time Limit and the Seeking the Ante, and what was really nice about that performance is that in her first 2 starts, she seemed like she might be a little speed crazy, but she got bumped both sides coming out of the gate, ended up in the 5 path on the backstretch. We saw the attack on the turn, and then she grinded down Time Limit, who had all the best of it from a ground-saving standpoint. If she is now a horse that is rateable, it gives Javier lots of options. We mentioned the outside post, and she's an omnifig. Her 3 buyers to date, faster than anything else the rest of the field has run. It's still early in all of their careers, but she's the horse to beat.
Yeah, she's the horse to beat in this race, especially when you go back to her debut, where she was just so impressive that day with an 87 buyer. She's paired up 75 since then. Will she ever get back to a figure like the debut? I don't know. I guess we'll see. I did think that she ran really well last time and deserves to be the favorite in this race.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Joseph A. Gimma Stakes, your DRFBets race of the day for Wednesday. Mike, Irish Dancing, just so visually impressive. Gotta have a feeling there's a little bit more left in the tank.
Yeah, we'll see if she can take a step forward. I thought her debut was really impressive. It's interesting because she's a filly without a ton of pedigree. They paid pretty good money for her, though, at the sale. And she ran to it first time, and I think she's going to be tough in this race.
Fierce Lady's my top selection in here. I think she's going to collar Time Limit. I'm going 6-2-4. You're going with Irish Dancing on top in the $150,000 Joseph A. Gimma Stakes with an approximate post time of 6:08 Eastern. Best of luck.